Next, we are going to see motion of freely falling body. Take a large stone and a small eraser, stand on the top of the table and drop them simultaneously from the same height. What do you observe? Now take a small eraser and a sheet of paper, drop them simultaneously from the same height. What do you observe? This time take two sheets of paper having same mass and crumble one of the sheet into a ball. Now drop the sheet and the ball from the same height. What do you observe? From all these activities, we observe that the stone and the eraser reach the surface of the earth almost at the same time. But when you drop the eraser and paper, the eraser reaches first and the sheet of the paper reaches later. You can also observe that the paper crumbled into ball reaches the ground first and plain sheet of paper reaches later, although they have equal mass. Do you know the reason? When all these objects are dropped in the absence of air medium, that is in vacuum, all would have reached the ground at the same time. But in air medium, air offers some resistance to the motion of the freely falling object. But this mass is negligible when compared to the gravitational pull acting on the stone and rubber. Hence they reach the ground at the same time because the gravitational pull is greater. It can be seen from these activities that the magnitude of air resistance depends on the area of the object exposed to it. This acceleration experienced by an object is independent of mass. This means that all objects, hollow or solid, big or small, should fall at the same rate. The equation of motion for a freely falling body can be obtained by replacing A in the equation with G. That is, for acceleration due to gravity, we have to use the symbol small g by replacing A. For a freely falling body which is initially at rest, U will be equal to 0. So what is the first equation? V is equal to U plus A into T. So you have to replace A as G. So U is equal to 0. So 0 plus G into T. So V is equal to G into T. What is the second equation? S is equal to U into T plus half into AT square. So in case of U, you have to substitute 0 because the initially the body is at rest. So 0 into T we get 0 plus half into AT square. You have to replace G for A. So you will be getting S is equal to half into GT square. What is the third equation? V square is equal to U square plus 2 into AS. So you have to replace U you have to put 0 and for A you have to replace G. So you will be getting the equation V square is equal to 2 into GH. When we throw an object vertically upward, it moves against the acceleration due to gravity. Hence, A is taken to be negative G, and when moving downwards, A is taken as positive G. Next, we are going to see uniform circular motion. When an object is moving with a constant speed along a circular path, the velocity changes due to the change in direction. Hence, it is an accelerated motion. For example, revolution of Earth around the Sun, revolution of Moon around the Earth, and the tip of the seconds hands of a clock are all accelerated motion. We can take a piece of thread and a small piece of stone at one of its end. Tie a small piece of stone at one of its end. Rotate the stone to describe a circular path with constant speed by holding the thread at the other end. Now release the thread and let the stone go. Can you tell the direction in which the stone moves after it is released? Yes. If we carefully observe, on being released, the stone moves along a straight line tangential to the circular path. This is because once the stone is released, it continues to move along the direction it has been moving at that instant. This shows that the direction of motion changes at every point. When the stone was moving along the circular path, If an object moving along a circular path of radius r takes time t to come back to its starting position, then the speed v is given by speed is equal to circumference by time taken. So speed is calculated by using the formula v is equal to circumference formula 2 pi r by t. Next, let's see what do we mean by centripetal acceleration. A body is said to be accelerated if the velocity of the body changes either in magnitude or in direction. So, the motion of a stone in a circular path with constant speed and continuous change of direction in an accelerated motion. In this case, there must be an acceleration acting along the string directed inwards, which makes the stone to move in circular path. This acceleration is known as centripetal acceleration and the force is known as centripetal force. In this case, there must be an acceleration acting along the string directed inwards, which makes the stone to move in a circular path. Let us consider an object of mass m moving along a circular path of radius r with a velocity v as its centripetal acceleration is given by a is equal to v square by r. Next, we are going to see what do we mean by centrifugal force. Take a piece of rope and tie a small stone at one end. Hold the other end of the rope and rotate in such that the stone follows a circular path. Do you experience any push or pull in your hand? In this activity, a pulling force that acts away from the center is experienced. This is called as centrifugal force. Force acting on a body away from the center of the circular path is called centrifugal force. So, what do you mean by centrifugal force? Force acting on a body away from the center of the circular path is called as a centrifugal force. Thus, centrifugal force acts in a direction which is opposite to the direction of centripetal force. Its magnitude is same as that of the centripetal force. The dryer in washing machine is an example for the application of centrifugal force. When you go for a ride in a merry-go-round, in amusement park, you will experience an outward pull as merry-go-round rotates about vertical axis. This is due to centrifugal force. Let's take a short recap. So in this lesson, we have shown about motion. What is motion? An object change in its position. We saw about distance. What is distance? Length of an object as covered during its motion. So distance is the length an object which covers during its motion. Displacement, change in the position of an object measuring from its starting position to the final position only. Speed, rate of motion at which the object moves. Speed is equal to distance by time. Then we saw about velocity. What is velocity? Speed of an object in a particular direction. Then we saw about acceleration. What is acceleration? Change in magnitude or direction of velocity. Then we saw about circular motion, movement of an object along the circumference of a circle or rotation along a circular path. Then we saw about centripetal force, force which acts on a body moving in a circular path and directed towards the center. Centrifugal force, force arising from the body's inertia which appears to act on a body moving in a circular path and is directed away from the center. Next we saw about force of attraction between an object and the center of the earth due to their masses, which is called as a gravity. So students, I think now you are thorough in motion lesson. The textbook exercise are given so that you can utilize it and be thorough in the lesson. Thank you.